What is going on, horror fans out there? Welcome back to the channel. This is Eric, and today I'm going to review episode 1 of season 2 of Chucky. I reviewed every episode last season, so we're going to go ahead and continue this season if I can make it through the season, which I'm not 100% on that after watching this first episode. So you already know I have some major issues. We will get into those issues with this episode. Having said that, there's still a whole season to go. Could get better. Last season I thought started great, was really enjoying it, and I think it kind of went downhill. And by the end I was like, oh God, now we're getting into all the Don Mancini craziness from movies like Seed of Chucky and Cult of Chucky with the multiple Chuckies, just stuff that I don't like. Logic is slowly going out the window by the last episode last season, and at this point there is no logic. Now I get it, the whole entire concept of this property is a doll that speaks, and okay, yes, that is the supernatural element of this entire franchise. But there literally is no logic to be had. There's a lot of plot conveniences, and the entire episode is just filled with that stuff, in my opinion, and unnatural behavior from characters I'm going to get into and other issues I'm going to talk about within this episode. So that being said, is there some positive things to say about it? Yes. I thought the cinematography in general looked really good. The colors and everything and just the shots, I think it looks great. Even better than most of season 1. I just happened to notice that. Everything was crisp and really solid. It looked really good. Sound great. Music was solid. There were some pretty creepy moments. That early moment in the episode where the little girl is trick-or-treating. She's dressed like a clown, and that's I think it was a little girl, creepy as hell. She did the little and I was like, whoa. I jumped. I was like, damn, that was a nice little jump scare there. Pretty cool little moment there. And also the very, very opening pretty much just continues where the last episode from last season left off, where you have Andy driving the truck, driving the van or whatever he's in there. I think it's a big old truck, right, with all the Chuckies in the back. And he's got Tiffany there, and you don't know what he's going to do. And it kind of left it on a cliffhanger, right? So we come into this one ready to go. I'm not sure, Andy's going to play a big part here. What's going to happen? These Chucky dolls are trying to take over everything. It's going to be something crazy, right? Well, it was entertaining for a few minutes, and then Andy just took him off a cliff. And I'm not really sure if that's the end of Andy. I kind of have a feeling he'll be back, but could he have survived that? They're acting like most of the dolls couldn't have survived that, even though obviously some did. But if that's the end of Andy after all this time, the original kid from the original movie, all this time later, that's how we take out Andy? Now, I'm not saying, he sacrificed himself to take all the dolls. That's cool and everything, but that should have been a big moment building up, and that should have happened at the end of an episode, and it should have been insane, and that should be something to just finish everything off, I would think. But just the moment did not seem very significant. It just showed a shot of the crash real quick, and then boom, next scene. It was just like, fuck Andy. So I'm not really sure what's going on. If Andy's dead, I think he is, apparently. Seems like it. Goner, Andy, see ya, finished. So I don't know. We'll see. But if so, I thought it was a pretty weak way to take out Andy. 3 kids, the 3 teenagers are back. They all seem really good. Did a pretty good job. Obviously, you don't have to develop them anymore. I'm still not a huge fan of Lexi after what she did, but you know what? She was a young teenager. She's been through a lot of trauma. They're in this together now. She's maybe by the end of the season, I'll be okay with Lexi. We'll see if she survives the season. Jake and Devin are in a relationship, fully in love. Okay, they're got it going on. They're 100% into that, so we don't have to. That doesn't have to be developed anymore. That's fully on, and we'll see where that goes. I don't have no idea right now, but they're obviously a full-fledged couple, and you have Lexi as well. They're all 3 of them. Chucky's trying to kill, and he wants to kill them all in one place at one time, and that's pretty much his goal. So Lexi's little sister is back. I think she did a pretty good job here, and their mom is back, who I hate just as much as always, politician. As far as the story, okay. So they fall off the cliff, and now at least one, but probably more than one Chucky survived, and is trying to kill those 3. So he's trying to get all 3 of them together. There are some cool moments when, there's some mysterious phone calls coming. He just kind of sound like Chucky, but you can tell he's disguising his voice. He calls Jake, ends up calling Devin too. Creepy, freaking weird phone calls, but we kind of have a feeling that it's Chucky. And the shots that they make kind of references to other horror movies like Scream. Pretty cool stuff. So early on in the episode, I was like, oh, I didn't really like how the opening kind of just went off a cliff there. And Andy's dead. I'm not really sure. I think Andy's dead now. Okay. And after that, I got into the episode. I said, okay, let's move on. Let's see what's going to happen here. And overall, nothing too new, nothing too crazy. Just kind of set up a similar premise of the first season, that Chucky's trying to kill these three, and they're, they haven't been through enough. I'm not really sure where it's going to go from here. Obviously, we have to wait and see. But there's nothing, no major positives. I never was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But I'm sure there's going to be some insanity coming really soon. As far as the negatives, guys, I mean, this episode was just weird because, okay, you have a lot, like I said earlier, a lot of plot conveniences, I guess you could say, and a lot of bizarre behavior. So early on, they're talking to this therapist. I guess it's the family therapist. I don't remember if she was in the first season. She might have been. I don't even remember, but I know she was acting creepy. This is about the creepiest therapist. I would hate to have this therapist. This therapist will fuck you up even worse than you already are. So you have the little girl, the little sister that's obviously scared of dolls and terrified of dolls. So what does the therapist do? She busts out a big old doll, not even a little doll, big ass doll, not just any doll. This is the Bride of Chucky, from the Bride of Chucky. How did she get this? But just happened to have this doll. She just happened to have this doll. It's a vintage doll I've had for a long time. Perfect condition. Doll looks like it's worth a fortune. Just gives it to this little girl. Just odd. Just a weird. Just to get the Bride of Chucky in there. So like, how does she have the doll? What's going on? How did this? I don't know. But anyway, then Lexi tries to. I mean, what is this doll made of? She tries to destroy the doll. She's slamming hard as she can on the ground. Not a scratch on this doll. What is this doll made of? Metal? What the hell is this doll made of? Then later, there's an interview because the mom is a politician. She's giving this interview with the two daughters next to her. And that interviewer is creepy as hell too. Just the way the questions are asked. Whatever happened to Chucky? And it's just the zooming in is like, is this guy in on it? This guy's in on it too. They're working together with Chucky. What's going on? Why is this guy so creepy? Why is the therapist so creepy? I don't really know. But it was just kind of weird. The only thing I liked about that scene is the two daughters, while this politician mom is saying all the right stuff, usually the your family, kids and stuff are going to have to get the fake smiles. They just look traumatized. The little daughter, especially the little girl, is so I really kind of thought it was a little bit funny, and it made sense that they're just completely traumatized. They can't even fake smile at this point. So that was a nice little touch that I happened to notice, and I thought it was pretty cool. But eventually some really crazy stuff happens as they all three get back together, because Chucky tricks them all three to getting back together so that he can kill them in the same place and same time. And there's another little boy here involved who is kind of a meaningless character, and I'm very worried for this boy's life because I know they're not going to kill any of those three main teenagers. This little boy here is definitely in danger, for sure. But eventually they find this doll, and then the weirdest conversation. And I understand you have Jennifer Tilly. There's an actual Seed of Chucky, that terrible movie that made Jennifer Tilly is actually a character within this franchise. And then you have Tiffany, who looks identical to Jennifer Tilly. I guess Jennifer Tilly also was making a movie in Seed of Chucky, if I recall. Now, this is the weirdest thing. They start referencing Bride of Chucky, the movie. Bride of Chucky. It's the doll from Bride of Chucky. She is the Bride of Chucky. Wait, Bride of Chucky is not a movie within Child's Play. That movie had a different title. I don't remember what it was, but it was not Bride of Chucky. Bride of Chucky is the movie that came before Seed of Chucky. In our world, in Earth here that we live on, within the Child's Play universe, that shouldn't be a movie. It doesn't even make sense. What happened in Bride of Chucky is canon for the universe, but the movie doesn't exist within the universe, does it? Am I tripping on this? Because now I don't even know what the hell. Is everything that happened in Child's Play franchise has also happened with... What? This is just too much. I don't even know what's going on now as far as that stuff goes. With the multiple Chuckies too, which I hated. I can't keep track anymore. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it through this season if they're just gonna do whatever. Diamond Seed is gonna do whatever. Like, literally anything goes, and it doesn't have to make sense. And I don't know, like, where we're going to go from here. Not to mention the fact that he can just keep it going as long as he wants. Like multiple Chuckies, right? Chucky can be killed as many times. Chucky died here in this episode. The only Chucky we know, but there's other Chuckies running around, and they can be killed and just bring them back. Bring them back. Bring them back. There's like there's no stakes as far as Chucky goes. Chucky's could be, you could always just say, oh, an extra one survived the crash anytime you want to. Or if he wants, he can just have Chucky find some more Chucky dolls and make a whole bunch more Chucky dolls anytime he wants to. I do Dimbala, give me the power I beg of you. And now we have a whole bunch of Chucky dolls out there. So it's just crazy because it's just wild. Not to mention now the movies are within the movie. I don't know how many, but I know they're talking about Bride of Chucky, the movie. That's just weird. No. What are we doing? What are we doing? Some really weird moments, like when Lexi gives the knife to her little sister. Like, okay, I thought it was funny. Okay, I'm gonna give it some funny. One of the funnier scenes. Chucky wasn't funny, and I didn't think that he had any lines that made me laugh in this particular episode. Just to throw that out there, which is a big part of why I enjoy these. But when Lexi is trying to teach her little sister, hey, all dolls are evil. It says something like, all dolls are fucked up. And you said the F word. And she's like, that's how serious this is. Now you say it. Now you say it. And then she said it. She said, all dolls are fucked up. And it was cute, funny, terrifying all at the same time, because I understand what Lexi is doing. I'd probably do the same thing, just for the seriousness of it. So you understand, you need to actually say this, so you get it through your head. Do not mess with any dolls. But then she says, here, hold this to protect yourself. A big ass knife, cut her throat in accident or something. Who knows what she gets? A little girl, 7 years old or something. Take this knife. Sweet dreams. It's just odd. Like, I get it, giving her protection because Chucky's real. I understand that, but just that's going to be a longer conversation, a little bit longer process there. And then at the end, when this little boy accidentally gets blown up with Chucky, it happens right there at the end because there's a struggle, and you know what I'm talking about because you've seen it, I'm sure. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching this review. And then they're all three back there with the therapist, a second male therapist, male whatever he is, creepy as hell too. This is not how this process would go. They are just immediately sent to this place, the same institution where Charles Lee Ray was. They're on the bus, and that bus is weird. They're not locked up. They're not in shackles. There's no one else on it, just them three chilling. It's just very odd. Like, this is not how this would work. I don't think this would work like this. It doesn't feel realistic. It feels like it's like a fan film that doesn't have the budget, which I would totally be like, if this was a fan film, like, this is sick for a fan film, but this is not a fan film. I know it's TV, but come on now. Couldn't get some extras in there? Couldn't get some kind of, make it look a little more real? It looked like they were on a school bus or something. I don't know. Just them three. But then they end up all three at the same place. The nun comes out. She was pretty creepy, pretty cool. And she's creepy. Why is everyone creepy? I don't know. But she was actually pretty cool. She's convincing, not creepy, but just a scary, strict looking nun, like she don't play. And they all three get there, and then the mailman comes with the Chucky doll, obviously, the big box, which we know is a Chucky doll. We've seen this before with the box delivery. And end. So now next episode, I'm sure Chucky's going to be there, and I'm kind of looking forward to it, but this whole universe is so jacked up now with the movies within the movie. I don't even know what to think, what can happen. Chucky's can last forever. This is just pure entertainment at this point. There's nothing really awesome about it like there used to be in the Child's Play universe, in my opinion. But we'll see where it goes from here. I think that probably this was a one-season type deal that could have been really awesome if written a little bit better for the first season, and it could have closed the chapter there with Andy and stuff. It could have been a really awesome series. I think we're just going to push it here, and we'll see. We'll see. But this episode is just stupid. Stupid. Too much was stupid about it, in my opinion, and we'll see where it goes. But anyway, let me know what you guys thought of Season 2, Episode 1 down below. Not a huge fan of it, but we'll see. Maybe things get better. Maybe this one will have the opposite of the first season, and it'll get better as we go along and close like, yeah, that was awesome. I was wrong about that first episode too. Everything makes sense now. I highly doubt it. Have a great day, y'all, and we'll see you next time. And if I don't remember what I did last season. Was I rating these or something? I don't know, but I'm going to give this episode 1 a freaking 5 out of 10, and that's being generous.